CKUT 90.3 FM.
Montreal, my city. I want all the men from Montreal, Saint Michel, West Island, Uptown, DG, Burgundy, the Murder's Triborough. You know how we doing things. We're in the States, not be the Triborough. Let me tell you something. A year ago, I went to this event, Tata, and it was just revelations. My brethren, we left Keemah's event. We're in the cure. So much gems. I'm gonna talk about it. I felt like I just tapped into a different part of my emotional box within my system. Keemah, I did the Reiki. I did the meditation. I did the thing in the woods. They say you're too guarded on your heart. I felt so open, at ease. I let my guards down to see fellow brothers, fellow men open up about their relationships, their goals, their fears, their trials and tribulations. The ease event, different. My brethren get into the car after the last one. He must have had an epiphany. He must have had a Tata moment.
Hey.
Joe Black. He said, yo, Weez, let me tell you something. I'm going to propose to my girl. I'm going to propose to my girl. No, she's not the girl. But that's when he told me. No, that's what he told me. And I was like, yo, I'm happy for you. Mm-hmm. The revelations that happened at Ease. Mm-hmm. Montreal, it's a conversation for men. This happened on June 21st. There was a conversation a man had, and I'm sure you remember this, and he was talking about his triggers. And that, he had been to different relationships and it went sour. And then finally he was dating someone that he really wanted to be with. And he finally broke down what his triggers were. And and then he told this whole story about how he traced it back, the history of the roots. And you know the thing that stuck with me the whole time? Every time I'm doing certain things, because there's a pattern to relationships. Yeah. There's a pattern to you being successful in life or your career or into your interpersonal romantic side of things. And you're always the common denominator, right? So going to the Ease event, I was like, yo, let me figure out what are my triggers. Because, we're cancers. We might be temperamental a little bit. Some people say we emotional. I'm just saying we just feel differently. But it was so beautiful to have an event that was created for men. Open conversation, no judgment. Mm-hmm. And, to hear men be so, especially West Indian men, be so open. And let me not take away. Her moderator was A1. All the guys, Bishop Bird in front of the show, Kareem, good friend, trainer, brother. Everybody on the panel. You had another doctor there too. He opened about. I learned so much. Like, man, there's so much depth to being a man. Yeah. This morning, she's here for part 2. Hey. She's here for part 2. You know how we do things. She's a Montreal-based creative curator, community builder. Some people are activists. Mm-hmm. Some people are leaders. Few can build, Tata. Known for her soulful presence and intentional gatherings, as the visionary behind the Ease events, Keemah creates immersive experiences centered on wellness, creativity, and authentic connection. June 21st, the second men event. Hey. Keemah G's in the building. How you doing, Queen?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We healing.
As you can see.
Thank you for that introduction. That was nice. Thank you.
First of all, congratulations. You're a mother now.
Yeah. I'm a mother of 2 little boys, Izzy and Easy.
Oh.
Hola. The Easy brothers.
Yes.
Easy.
They're not really easy though, but I'll take it though. But Israel and Ezekiel,
awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
How has the early stages of motherhood been for you thus far?
Oh my God. If someone would have, you can't be prepared for it. You just can't. It's an individual experience, and for me having 2, and not having the supports. Well, I have a support system, but it's small, right? I don't have my parents with me, so that's a little difficult. But just the joy of seeing the 2 boys and watching them grow is something. I always wanted to be a mom. I think I told the whole world I wanted to be.
You created life.
Yes.
You created life.
Yes,
what an experience! And you have twin boys, which is even more special.
Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially it resonates a lot with the events that you're putting on because you're raising 2 potential young kings, you know what I mean? And can you talk about that, these powerful spaces that you're creating? I know you've been on the show quite a few times, right? Yeah. But for our listeners who don't know, what inspired you to really curate this experience? And what draws you to gather men, right? Being a woman specifically, together to experience and heal?
Okay. I love that question. I first started because of my own experiences. I felt defeated. I felt defeated as a black woman, and I love black men, but that's my only experience. So I was just like, is there something I'm doing wrong? I'm not a person that goes out there and looks for next man. Maybe I was naive sometimes, you know, but I was just like, what am I doing wrong? And I walked into work one day and I was just overwhelmed, and the Darrellton James that was there, the clinician, he did a training at work with red light, yellow light, green light. It's talking about how we respond. And we were talking about it, and he walked in and he gave me like a little therapy session. And in 2 minutes, I don't like to cry in front of people, really, and I don't like to cry at work. And he broke me down in like a second. And I was just like, just imagine if the men had this information, what would it be? So I sat on it for a couple of weeks, and I just kept God kept waking me up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was just like, okay, let me just try it. I don't have no experience creating events. I wanted to do things for women, but I just said, okay, God, if you're going to use me as a vessel, then shoot, go ahead.
Yeah, the calling, the calling.
Facts. So your experiences with men, it's intriguing, right? Because usually women would create spaces where women gather just to talk about their pain and hardships. But we often forget that we need to pull men in spaces if we want to work together.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that men don't have the space. And when we look at like mental health, especially men experience mental health at a rapid rate in comparison to women. And black men, what sets them apart from other men is that how they're treated in society that plays on their mental wellness.
Yes, and systemic racism and all that.
Exactly. So I said to myself, you know, like, if we want to strengthen the next generation, we have to strengthen the men in the homes.
Facts.
Like, I'm tired of, I lived with my parents when they were alive, but they passed, and I grew up with my grandmother. So technically they would say I come from a one-parent home. You know, she did a great job, but there's certain things that I missed. So my goal is to really strengthen the homes, and the first people that we need to strengthen in the homes is the men, because I truly believe that the men are the leaders. And the ironic thing, when I did this event, and then when it finished, 5 days later I found out I was pregnant. 4 weeks later, I found out I was having boys.
The blessings.
Yeah, so I was just like, you know, I can't say it's for me because it's not something that I said I ever wanted to do. I really believe that God's just using me as the vessel. But I truly believe that the men need to feel empowered. And I'm sure all of us could say that we have struggled, especially our community. There's been a lot of struggle with relationships. And I think that the men need to get back to the forefront and be the top leaders and cover the women too as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I've never been so vulnerable in my life like I felt at an Ease event. It's just, you know, being a black man, I went to your last event, and I wasn't on the panel. It was great to just be there and just to feel the experience. You do start to feel the barriers are breaking down. And what's even more dope is that you start to look around the room and it's like, oh, there's other people going through similar things that I'm going through. A lot of men live in this glass house. It's like it's only happening to me. Yeah. It's me.
Your own little ecosystem.
Yeah, it's me. And then just to hear the conversations about marriage, you know, a lot of men, not just black men, a lot of men in general have misconceptions about marriage. They hear to see another brother that's black, that's married I think Kareem at that point, he was past 10 years, and him talk about it's not always perfect. Yeah, there's ways. But what's dope about the men conference too? The men talked about ways and solutions. There's a methodology to it. Not you know we did open up and pour down the feelings, but we also talked about, hey, listen, this is how I got out of that dark space. Yeah. This is how I move now in relationships, which I thought was fantastic. And it just sucks that more men are not open to just the idea. Just come check it out. So hopefully this year around we'll get more men to come out. We did have a good turnout last time. Can you walk us through who's on the panel, who's moderating, beautiful souls up here, boy. Oh, I love these guys.
So the moderator is Spence Telemack. Yeah. I'm sure you guys are familiar
with him.
Friend of the show. I met him, I think I met him through my mom's best friend, yeah. And once I told him the idea, he was on it. So last year, I just decided to switch up the moderators as we go. And he said, yeah, cool. So he's the moderator. We have Kareem Rollins, which is he's my physical trainer, our physical trainer.
Props to Kareem. You know what I like is that he walks the walk and talk the talk.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people in these spaces, they portray an awesome image, but behind closed doors, they're doing more damage to the same people that they want to present to heal.
Yeah.
I like Kareem because one, he's married. He's really putting into work what he is preaching, right? He's not just talking to men and then going and breaking women's hearts. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's literally an epitome of what he is teaching and showing others. So people like him get full respect from me, because I believe that for a lot of community workers, especially men in Montreal, public image is impeccable. But if you really want to get to the issue of the men and the home and black men, men need to be also honest about who they are behind closed doors.
For sure, 100%. Yeah.
And I really value like people like Kareem, who you see in public is who they are in secret.
In secret, yeah. And the thing too is that I met Kareem in 2020 because I just said I need to get out of my house and exercise somewhere else, you know? Like, but from the time I met him, the first thing what I liked about him is that we did a Zoom and his wife was on the back of the picture. And I think that I believe if you want to be single and do your thing, be single and do your thing.
Yeah.
But if you're a man that has a woman, respect that woman, honor that woman. Because I'm biblically, you know, I come from a biblical background. So it says honor your wife. It doesn't say wives honor your husband. It says honor your wife, and wives respect your husband. And he's the image of that. So I like that Kareem is on the panel, and he's going to be sharing that information. How did he stay married? It's 16 years and counting now. So how did he stay married for 16 years and counting? Being very young, you know, coming from, probably, I won't tell his whole story because he's going to tell it himself, but he's going to really give the tools and really share the things that he struggles with and how he combats them. And he's going to give us the whole picture. So shout out to Kareem. I'll try and get there tomorrow morning. And then after we have Edward Toussaint. Edward Toussaint, I don't know if you guys ever heard of him, but he works a lot in the Côte-de-Neige area. He's never done this before, but he's referred to me, and after speaking to him a few times.
Is he the one that works with youth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he basically is speaking on fatherhood, his challenges, the things that he has to work on every day. He's giving the men tools as fathers. There's a big part of fathers this year, just because not just biological fathers, but community fathers. How do we bring back the Uncle Phils to the community? So he's going to be touching on that. And then we have Darrelton James, who's the clinician. He's actually...
he's clinical, boy. He said some things that just blew my mind. Like, I was like, yo, Keemah really put this on. And that's why I always say that it all comes back to the black woman. It took a black woman to create a beautiful space for men to feel, you know what I mean, comfortable to talk. And also the panels are just so amazing.
Now, I like how you say that, you know what I mean? It's true, because black women, and this is what I always say about the feminist movement, because as a black feminist, you always think about your black community. It's very different. And what you're doing to me is feminism. You know, you're putting on, because you've seen that we are only as strong as our weakest link. And right now, the reason why we're not progressing forward, a big part of it is, you know, the family, the unit. Once we get the family right, we get back that village building mentality, right? And then we be able to collaborate and work with other like-minded people, you know what I mean? So I love that, and I love the fact that it is a black woman who is giving back to the men, you know what I mean? And I just hope that, you know, the men will take what you're doing and see what you're doing and reciprocate it back to us, you know what I mean? Because I think that's how communities grow.
Of course. And I just hope that the men are vulnerable enough to show up, you know? And I pray they show up big, because it's gonna, like, even speaking of Darrelton James, he does the work. Like, he really shows you the work. He'll get down to the places where you're just, like you said, you're like, you're so vulnerable. You're like, wait a minute, is he getting me? So he's gonna be there, and then who else we have? Sorry, I'm so tired.
It's okay. You mommy now.
I know.
Shout out for you being here so early.
Off my energy. We have Michael Smith. So Michael Smith is going to be speaking about community, and he's going to be mostly speaking about how to show up in the community as men. You know, and through conversation, through great questions, panel discussion, there's going to be food. We cannot have men there with no food.
Hold on. Let me say something. Y'all, y'all know how I feel about my food. Y'all know how I don't play my food.
We have a full meal this time.
The food, listen, it could have been the same thing as last time. Dr. A1. And it's funny because like, it's in the middle of the session, so like at that point, everyone was just like, yo, we mad vulnerable. Everybody's like, where's the water? Where's the rum? You know what I mean? Keemah needs a bar. And then we're eating, and you're kind of seeing, like, everyone's kind of like, hey, I'm Ian, I'm so-and-so. And we're kind of breaking bread, and the food was amazing, man.
Thank you.
It was really good. So I'm excited. I'm happy reason I'm coming for the food again, you know me. I be searching for a good plate.
Sounds good. And yeah, that's about it. So we have Spence, Kareem, Michael Smith, Edward Toussaint, and Darrelton James.
Awesome.
I did not forget anybody.
And if you did, trust me, I know they ain't gonna hold you against you because you're doing good for the community. So what do you really hope men and participants will walk away after your event? What do you hope that they're gonna take away and also contribute to the space?
I hope that they could take away that it starts from within and apply the tools to their own journey. I too done some long work, extensive work on myself, therapy, getting closer with God. And at the end of the day, it starts from within. I think I said this before. You can only discover who you are when you're aware that you need something to discover. So I just pray that they leave with something to discover about themselves. They're able to apply it to their own journeys, and we're going to give them the tools, you know, not just the empowerment and feel good, but what are the tools, some practical tools you could take. I forgot that I did forget a person, Femo Mitchell.
Okay.
That's my meditation guy. Yeah, that's my guy. He's a friend of the show too.
Yes, when the village meditates. Femo.
Have you done it? Have you done the path?
I'm starting it. Yeah.
Oh man. You need to try the path. So during COVID, I did the path when he started. Femo's a good friend of mine. My personal meditation. I said, listen, I need to quiet the noise in my head.
Yeah.
So I started doing the bold thing, and we filmed it on the Morning Detour. We did it on Running with Wolves. And then he's like, I'm starting this thing called The Path.
Yeah.
First of all, doesn't he have the best voice for a podcast?
So calm.
Puts you right to sleep.
I'm talking to him, I'm like...
So during COVID, he started The Path. So at 6:30 in the morning, he'll team you up with somebody, and that's your person for the 6 to 8 weeks. And you guys help each other grow. And the workshops, every week you have a different task, and we meditate every morning at 6:30 in the morning on Zoom, and he'll do the bowls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when you really, you know, I think sometimes with men, they get too much in their head. When you let it go and just like, listen, just honestly, just try it.
Yeah.
Just like whatever the rules of engagement are, just do it.
Yeah.
When you let yourself go and you just try the meditation thing, I was able to quiet the noise.
But also with sound baths, people forget that everything is frequencies.
It works.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything with frequencies, we're rhythm. If I just seen a 3D image of sound and what it looks like, and we are electromagnetic, so that is doing more for us than we think. It's healing us, like you said, from the inside out. So for people who are listening, who want to force their daddy or their uncle or to go get
or their baby daddy,
or their baby daddy, how could they join this event? How could they tune in? How could they follow the movement?
So you can follow me on Instagram. It's e.a.s.e_events. And you could go on Eventbrite to buy your ticket. You just type in E's Men's Conference and Workshop. And that's about it. It's at 370 Guy Street. You could take the Metro, Charlevoix or Guy walked down the street, Charlevoix walked down the street. It's very accessible. There's parking. Doors open at 1:30 and it starts at 2. And it finishes at 6.
And that's the 21st of June.
The 21st of June.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing. I'm going to be in the building. It's good stuff. We're going to throw the link up there on the Detour 514 link tree. For some people, they be calling us. What did she say again? Just go to the bio. Anybody that's on the shows, go to the bio. I'll be in the building. If you're looking for a great conversation, if you're a man in the city, please come out to this event. Yeah, boy, it's going to change your life.
Thank you, guys.
The Morning Detour on CKUT 90.3 FM.